Welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. This is The Big Show, and I'm your host Jerk, live in the city of LA where we keep it rockin'. How is everybody doing? Do my eyes deceive me, or an awful lot of you wearing capes and wizard hats? Oh, my cape and wizard hat? It's a prescription from my doctor, Dr. Dre. Enough questions. Let's get to today's show. And I do want to apologize for this extended period between episodes, but between my learning how to ride a broom properly and the tedious grind to get all these epic mods, well, it hasn't left much time to just have fun. But today's guest is the solution to that problem, so let's go ahead and get them out here. The premium tier 5 American battleship. Give it up for California. California, out from the cabinet where we store all the OP ships that we don't take out, and back on the big screen for the first time in 261 episodes. Why, that is 2 years from this very day, if this day were 3 days from now. But here it is, back in all of its thick glory to shake it, baby. Once upon a time, back before the Bureau was absolutely horrible, so you know, a really long time ago, this ship was a Bureau project, and I think it's occasionally in some crates every once in a while now as a potential drop. So while it's not readily available, it's not impossible to get either, unlike Lenin. But why do people want this ship? Well, before we get there, let's get the commander and modules up on the big screen, and we have Big Billiam Sims, Andy Stunningham, and Ms. Beepley. Ooh, what are you doing here? I think this setup tells you just how often I take out the American battleships. Anyway, back to why people want this ship, and the answer is because it is very, very, how many was there? 2? Very good. And if I can figure out how to bring up the stats, let's see, what does this button do? No. Look at this mess of code. How am I supposed to understand that? Hold on, let me try this one. Here we go. If we look at my stats, you can see why that is the case. A solo win rate of 80%, 95% at duos, and 100% at trios, with an average XP of 1,868 XP at tier 5. And not exactly a small sample size either. It's got 12 356mm guns, an AA suite that most ships can only dream of, and the ability to turn on, let's just say, a quarter. All at the cost of being sorta slow, but when you're as flossed out as California, why would you want to get somewhere fast anyway? But that's really the story with many of the American dreadnoughts. Don't get out of position because you'll never have the time to get back into it. And when we're in a game mode like Epicenter, that means, well, this is my home now. There are many other islands like this, but this one is mine, and here I will sit and wreak havoc upon your team, while the Erlin that spawned with me heads out to the east? Wait a minute, which of us is in the destroyer here? I mean, we already know where all the red destroyers are. They've all been spotted in the center. So what I need to do is actually get around this island to create a crossfire. But to do that, I need to get rid of this Mutsu. And to do that, I'm going to need them to sit broadside, which they are happy to oblige. I mean, this is some high-skill gameplay by them because they made me miss that second shot. I was like, surely they're going to go forward. I aimed for them to go forward, but no, they did not. They just kept reversing and shooting HE, so this time we've planned for them to keep reversing and spam HE, so let's see what happens. Okay, they're gone. And that is our first ship sunk, and that's going to allow me to start to push around this island, but now, at this point, the red team is starting to push around, so maybe I will have a better crossfire if I just stay right here. Let's see. Well, we're down a battleship and 2 destroyers, and the red team has only lost that Mutsu. The red team is securing this center base as we speak, but that's about all they're going to get until someone on their team takes it upon themselves to dig me out from this position. But that's going to require some plums. Some plums and some using your head for something other than a hat rack. So, as many matches and wowzles go, it's all on you. Or in this case, me. I mean, not really. It just feels that way sometimes, and that's why we always say that if you recognize what needs to be done, it's up to you to take care of it, rather than hope your teammates do, regardless of the class that you are in. You've heard me say that if you're going to be part of the battleship problem, which is to say playing battleships and not cruisers, then you have to be willing to do a cruiser's job, like hunt destroyers. Anywho, I mean, I don't know what's going on with my teammates. I know they're being terrorized by the Weimar of the sky, so I can't really blame them for trying to rotate around. But at the same time, if I weren't here, the red team would secure at least the 2 center bases, and the points would be starting to spiral out of control. I am hoping to get the Gajamada here, and that's they of course disappear, so we go with the next best target, which is the Leander, and we're going to use the old auto aim right here and just let fly and pick up our second ship. Sunk. Bonk.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
So things aren't too bad. We're down about 100 points, but things haven't really spiraled out of total control. But taking a low health Scharnhorst to storm the center base with no hydro and in the middle of a crossfire is probably not the wisest thing to do. So while we are going to lose them, we are still maintaining our position. And now that the Reds have pushed all the way around that island, they are starting to put themselves into a position for me to crossfire. But my common sense is also starting to tingle, and I have the sneaking suspicion that the red destroyers in the center are getting bored and overconfident and are going to start coming after the host with the most. But before I turn my attention to dealing with them, let's go for a double strike. One shot there, the rest at the Gneisenau. Well, we didn't get the New Mexico, but we're going to get a very solid hit on this Gneisenau. That is the California's guns, not too shabby. So now the Gneisenau, they have to start thinking about angling towards me, or maybe they don't. I mean, there is a battleship to the north of them. There goes our Scharnhorst, who, surprise, surprise, got torped. And I was thinking I might try and take out their Scharnhorst there, but they have wisely stopped. Either way, the Gneisenau is flat broadside to me and caught between myself and another battleship, so I'm going to go ahead and take this shot. And you'll notice I switch immediately over to HE because I am expecting destroyers anytime now. So I want to move forward here and get my guns to the front, because I kind of have a feeling that that's the direction that they'll be coming around. And I'm looking at that Gneisenau, and I'm thinking, you know what? I can't really risk them shooting me anymore. So let's just go ahead and remove them from the game. And we don't mind using HE, even though they are on fire. You know what? I don't care. They get a pretty decent hit there, but there is our third ship sunk. And my turrets are rotating towards the front of the boat as I am spotted now, and a destroyer shoots at me. Very, very ballsy. I mean, I'm not saying this player threw the match for them, but they did. not just them, you know, not just them, but hey, it's an IJN destroyer, right? Well, California, it is knows how to party, so. Hey, there goes that one. All right, triple fire, though, or double fire. And surely there are torps on the way. Surely there are torps on the way, so I'm in full reverse. And I want to get that island right on the horn to get my nose back there. And we just narrowly dodge catastrophe, because that would have been it for me. However, the game's not over. And there's the Gajamada. Okay, that's... Oh, and what do we have here? We have a Fubuki that is 3 kilometers from me. Now, I don't have the RGA mod on here, so I'm not going to be able to spot them through the island unless they get 2 kilometers from me. But nobody has eyes on me, so somebody's going to have to go one way, and once that Gajamada's gone, which is right now, one of these players, whether the Scharnhorst or the Fubuki, is going to have to make a play. And I'm expecting the Fubuki to continue to go forward because it doesn't make sense for a destroyer to go backwards. It's just too slow. So, we have our guns trained, and we have our HE loaded, and now we just wait. And you know what? Do we want to get this video demonetized? I think it's worth it. We don't need the $3.
California.
Everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. The track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Back a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like a Rob Liberace. It's all good, from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pain. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah.